Yes, Tony. What does it feel like to have an attack?
Wow. Different. I have different. Like in my book, I wrote that it's as if somebody took a knife and dug it into me, and kept digging and not stopping. You know, at least.
Where do you feel this pain? All over?
It depends. It can be on your leg, on your knee. It can be all over. It can be your stomach. It can be in your head. It can be your back. It doesn't tell you where it's going to start. So unfortunately, the all over one is the worst. You know, because you don't know where to. You're like holding this, holding that. So, and there are sometimes the pain drugs don't work at all. Not even the highest of highest pain drugs. And people always have this feeling that we're hypochondriacs.
Exactly. And
but they don't understand it. They think it's just headache.
Yeah.
You know, and because of that medical challenge, the relationship with medical authorities is understanding our pain. A lot of us now go over the counter to get the drugs to sort it out ourselves. And of course, it's addiction because you can't monitor. Yeah, you can't monitor whether you need it because there are different grade levels of pain. So once you take the high one, you feel, it worked the first time. For any other pain,
and prevent it.
Let me just take it because it's easy. But that's why we need our medical personnel to be more educated on how the pain is, because it's really, really bad. Not to talk of the other complications from organ damage to other complications that happen.
How often do you have this?
It varies with individuals. For one of the things I've learned is to be able to manage your health, you need to know yourself, know what triggers is, know what your steady state of hemoglobin is, because people's steady states are different. You know, eat well, and not eat junk food.
It's healthy.
Eat healthy. Eat healthy is very, very important because we cannot take iron tablets. You can't take iron supplements.
Even though they're anemic.
Even though we're anemic. So we have to find it in our vegetables.
Why can't you take iron?
Because they're breaking down their blood cells so much. There's a lot of iron, excess iron already in their blood. So
you have to know that you have to drink plenty and then avoid physical and most of all emotional stress. Because emotional stress triggers crisis.
How are you going to avoid that?
That's a tough one.
I know.
I asked her a question how she deals with it.
Yes.
But as she's talking now, I have friends, I have a couple who are my friends who lost 2 of their children to this disease. I was telling Aleo when we came before we started the show that every other week, and in 2008, between 2008 and 2010, every other week we were donating. At least I know I was donating blood. But it's seeing my friend now sitting by that bedside. The child is 4 or 5 years old, and what they're going through. How do you talk to these parents? If you had to talk to parents now who might be having that kind of, what would you tell them?
The important thing is really to be part of continuous care. You can't handle this on your own, and how is that? You have to be part of, like our center or hers, or have a clinic, we have what they call dedicated sickle cell clinics, where patients that are seen as sickle cell patients. It's not, because I find that when they're seen in regular clinics, it's even there's evidence based. When they're seen in regular clinics, they're not cared for properly. One thing is they don't understand their pain. The patients who have told me that it's worse than labor pain, and sometimes they can't localize it. You see leg, hand, it may be everywhere. So the genetic counseling is for families, not just the patient, because it's entire families that take care of one child or 2 or 3. Because what affects the child affects the entire family. Once the child is ill, everything else stops in the family. So everyone should be part of it. We had a sibling who almost stifled her sister. Her sister is the one who has sickle cell, but she felt that there was too much attention and focus on her sister. For instance, in the mornings, they say her sister would have her bath with hot water, but you go on and have a bath with cold water. But they hadn't really explained to her what's all this about.
Was going on.
So it was the entire family was called in for genetic counseling, father, mother. You're talking about steady state when they're fine and there's no problem. That's when you take care of them and be sure that you prevent crisis. And then I spoke to you about medicines that we have now that do prevent crisis. What these medicines do is they shore up the hemoglobin level. They're expensive. That's why we say that, look, we need people to support us to care for these patients. They have to take these medicines every day. And so mothers will tell you, I'd rather give them food and leave the medicine. And if you leave the medicine, they'll get crisis. Somebody has to pay for them. And that's why we have a lot of donors. So we go cap in hand, really, everywhere asking for adopt children, in the sense that pay for their medicines. So we know you're paying. Some people take, okay, I'll pay for 10 kids every year. It's something. And as long as they get their medicines throughout the day, every day of the year. And that's absolutely important. I didn't say that children with sickle cell get stroke, you know. People are shocked when they hear that. We have a unit in our center too, where we do what is a non-invasive procedure that helps us to determine which children are at risk of stroke. And if they are, you talked about blood transfusion, that's one of the treatments. But it has to be every 3 weeks. Blood transfusion every 3 weeks. And that doesn't really work.
No.
So the new medication that prevents the crisis and prevents stroke is what we give them. But they have to take it every day. It's expensive. Somebody has to pay for them.
Okay. Well done,
Thank
Dr.
you.
Annette Akinshete,
It's not
consultant
easy.
public
We are
health
praying.
physician.
Thank you, Alero. Pray for us.
And Tony, with the
Yes.
infectious smile. I mean, we are just,
Draw on him.
feeling from your energy.
Thank you.
I mean, small as you are, there's so much energy, force around you, and you're radiating it. And continue doing what you're doing.
Thank you.
I mean, you're living with sickle cell.
Yes.
You have just decided it's not the end of the world. I've got to live my life.
Yes, exactly.
And I've got to make the best of my life.
Exactly, yeah.
Good testimony.
Thank you very much.
Tony Adeshola is the Executive Director and founder of Sickle Cell Advocacy and Management Initiative, shortened SAMI, S-A-M-I.
Yes.
Thank you very much for coming.
Thank you for having me.
Thank
And
you.
you still went on the walk in spite of everything.
I told you that she had to be here. She wouldn't be the same without her.
Thank you very much for
Thank
coming
you.
and telling us about this. Sunrise will be right back, and we shall have Janet in the house. Stay with us.